Hello, welcome back to the lobby. Did you know there's a new Divinity game out? Kevin VanOrd does. That's why he's here to talk to us all about it.
Well, hello.
Divinity Original Sin.
Yes.
It's a much better name than Divine Divinity. That really irked me.
That it is.
Isn't that still the name of like a power in that game though?
That's all right. I can
set
deal with
yourself
that.
against the Divine Divinity?
It's been a while since I played the original Divine Divinity. It's been
like
years. It's been years.
2002?
But you can play it on Steam now, which is good. You can now get Divine. Well, you could get it before on GOG as well, but you can get Divine Divinity. It had a sequel Beyond Divinity.
Yeah.
And then
There's
Divinity
a bunch of
2.
them.
Yeah. And then Divinity 2 came out, and that was a different kind of game, a third-person sort of action RPG.
But Original Sin is different as well because they're kind of leaning into the
Original
co-op
Sin's completely different.
And you play as two different people as well and all that.
Yeah, at one time. So Chris is getting me already going. Yeah, look at that.
It also looks really good. So for folks who don't know anything about this, Kevin, mechanically, what type of game is Divinity Original Sin?
All right, so this is an isometric view role-playing game. So at first blush, you might think, hey, this looks a whole lot like Diablo. But it's not actually like Diablo at all.
I would probably think it looks a lot like Diablo.
Shush,
Diablo.
Shush your pedantic mouth.
Yes, Kevin.
So you start with your two adventurers, and this is the very, very beginning of the game. I'm beyond this, but because of where I am in the game, I suspect that it would be really boring to show that stuff off. So this is actually the beginning. So at first blush, yeah, it looks a little bit like it might be like a Diablo kind of thing, or Diablo, or Jabjoj. But instead, it's a lot more like Temple of Elemental Evil, if you ever played that. So you get the top-down thing, but once combat starts,
what's it doing here?
It actually goes turn-based.
Okay.
And I'm hoping to show you that, but first I'm going to come over here, pick up a scroll, maybe pick up a shell.
Pick up those.
Do you always, because you've got the warrior and then your mystic, which is kind of like your healer.
Yeah,
do you always control the warrior?
You can control either one.
Okay.
So either one has different different socialization skills. So it's not like in conversation, it's not just defaulting to it's whoever you're controlling at the time. You can switch between them, and there are reasons to switch between them. So for example, my witch, she can talk to animals. So sometimes there's a reason to switch over.
So if you click on it with the dude, he's like, what do you ask me to talk to this animal for? I can't talk to animals, it's stupid.
They're just like, meow.
Right.
Does he say meow and then it's like, oh, nothing?
Well, no, he doesn't say meow. But it's actually interesting because there's one part towards the beginning of the game where you're talking to a wizard. There we go. So here's battle. So as soon as battle initiates, you get into a turn-based deal.
Goddess be with you, master.
Turn-based?
Yes.
All right. All right, so they're running in, they're initiating.
So they're running. There's going to be one guy that's left, if I recall correctly, and he's going to do a summon.
Skeletons.
Golems.
And boom.
Close.
There you go.
Orcs?
So all the combat is turn-based.
So the combat is all turn-based,
Okay.
although you can do things that are sort of combat-oriented even when you're not in combat, like heal each other or attack doors and things like that. So fight is beginning. And it tells you can control and find out attributes over these things. So right now, it starts with my witch gets the first turn. So she's got a lot of different things that she can do. It's nice. You start with like a good variety of spells. It's not like blah, like a lot of RPGs. You can like, I can do the one thing. So the first thing I'm going to do
attack, and then I can learn area attack.
Is I am going to summon.
Summon your own skeletons?
I'm going to summon a spider.
Oh, sick.
So the first thing that happens is she's like, boom!
Oh, gross.
There's a gross spider for you.
It looks really good.
Yeah, the game's very good looking.
Spider's already talking
And now
smack.
she preserves 2 action points. She's done. Moving on to the spider's turn. So I'm just going to go after the summon. Ouch! I love that animation like crazy.
Where did it go?
The Twitch chat wants to know.
Nice.
The Twitch chat wants to know how much ball physics is in this game.
There is approximately no ball physics.
That's really disappointing.
Well, we have to have a diverse show here, Danny. So we have to have it. This appears to arachnophiles. Testophiles we already appealed to in our first segment. And then later on, Warcraft something.
So let's do some other magic. Let's do this sort of magic missile here.
Shobi89 asks, do you have a main character or a bunch of characters? These are the only 2 characters you actually play as, right? You don't customize?
You can add more characters to your party. You'll eventually come across people that, like, you know, hench people that you can add to your party and whatnot. They're all fully controllable. They all have their own inventories and so on and so forth.
2 at a time always?
So no, not 2 at a time always. You get more.
Okay. So you get up to, do you know up to what? Or?
I don't know. I want to say it's probably 4, but I don't know. Don't ask me.
And do they all have the dialogue options you were talking about earlier?
Yeah, you always have. Yeah, exactly. You always get the dialogue stuff. Sorry, I get distracted easily.
We're asking you a lot of questions.
Because I know there's some dialogue stuff coming up.
Oh, that was a really close magic shot that you did there, Kevin. I like how the magic, how it's like snakes. It's not just a straight line arrow. It
it's
kind of
really
like
good
swerves
looking.
its way in there.
So what's interesting is I played some of this game when it was an alpha, but I did not actually play, you know, any of the later stuff after the alpha in like January.
This was Kickstarter, right?
Yes, this was Kickstarted.
They got over 1 million, I think, and they asked for about 400,000.
Nicely done.
And what they did is they made a really, what seems to be a really good game so far. I'm still early times. Obviously, I'm beyond this early time. Again, this is basically the introduction stuff, but. Things get really, really interested. So this is where you can like, oh, I can attack this, but you have to be really careful when you choose to attack stuff in the environment because your stuff takes damage.
Okay. Your weapons?
Your weapons take damage.
Like more so than you should be used to in role-playing games?
Yes, and it can happen really fast, especially if you're. Be very careful with, especially if you're like a rogue using daggers or something. Those things can break really fast.
Bobman88 asks, is there a co-op mode in this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you can totally co-op, and it has really interesting conversation things that you can do. Hopefully I'll get a chance to show you that just in the single player bit, because there's actually a rock that, you can move stuff around. This looks a little silly visually.
Force power, I like it.
Well, that's kind of, I mean, like having that, does that lead to any kind of, I mean, removing an obstacle is one thing, but does that lead to any kind of exploration or puzzles?
Totally.
Like
in combat, you can use that stuff. Like if there's a barrel of oil, then I can throw that on the floor and spread oil, and then I can throw a candle on top of it and set it aflame. And you'll actually, I think you're actually going to see that soon. So there's apparently a mine ahead. So I have to come up here. I can't. There it is.
Completely unrelated. This game is made by Larian, of course, who've made all the Divinity games, and they're located in Belgium. So just
Yeah, totally.
Belgium, huh?
Belgium, yeah.
I hear that's a okay nation for people with bad opinions about stuff.
No.
Whoa,
Oops.
That did not seem to be a real safe way to defuse
that was a mistake.
You're on fire.
I meant to cast a spell with her, and I failed. I wasn't thinking.
You just collaborated with your staff.
I did. That was pretty embarrassing.
G. Wenners asks, is there friendly fire? Did we just answer that question?
Yes, there is friendly fire for sure. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm going to drop that scroll in there.
Surprised you managed to deflect that damage. That was a close one.
And if you don't want, you can do something like if you don't want them to stay together like that, you can. If you want to control them individually, you can just drag their portraits apart like that, and then she'll stay put.
Separate.
Yeah, and you need to do
how
that
far
for
can
some
you go?
puzzle solving. Anywhere in the world.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
You can be completely separate. That's especially handy in co-op if you want to separate with your. From your partner and go and do different things.
What have you thought about?
Still do that.
What have you thought about the story so far? Affinity's asking, is the story as well thought out as?
Right now, I'm just
Divinity?
blah about the story.
Okay.
Like it's just whatever. It's sort of like, oh, you're going to the village and the wizard there summoned you and you have to solve a murder, kind of thing. And that's in the main story. That's all I'm doing right now because I'm really distracted by the sudden glut of things that I get to do. And there's a lot of exploration because this is not a game that holds your hand. This is not a game that sometimes a little too, it expects you a little too much out of you to figure out how stuff worked, like how the weapon damage worked and how to repair it. It took me a little while to figure out actually how to do some of that stuff.
You were saying earlier, like the characters you find, there is no, in terms of customization, before you get them, can you make your own characters, or can you customize your characters once you found them?
As far as I know, only the two at the beginning, the two that you make at the beginning are the only ones that you can customize, as far as I know.
The rest of them are all just in-game characters you kind of run into?
Exactly.
So far? Okay.
Exactly.
And then there are loadouts and gear and stuff like that, like inventory-wise, is there much you can do?
Yep. Yep. Here's a huge inventory, and you get between characters, and if you need one character to have another thing, you actually have to switch it between the two.
Sorry, did you say his name was Hugh?
No, his name is Roderick.
Huge inventory.
Yeah,
Roderick.
huge inventory.
Oh, okay.
The Hugh inventory. That
Hugh
would be,
Grant.
that would be really great.
Can you name him Hugh if you want?
You can, yes.
Great.
I went with the default names, which are Roderick and Scarlet, but you can use whatever you want. And in this case, I need to get past that door.
Did you go into the skills and talents were there as well? What's in there?
Oh, yeah.
What else we got?
So over here, we've got, here is just the regular, it's all the regular stuff. But if I move over here, you've got different weapon abilities, defensive abilities, skills, all of your stuff under personality.
Excellent.
And when you make decisions, you can, because your two
nasty
characters.
deeds.
Yeah, nasty deeds, which would be not
murdering people,
like that. And then there are talents like this that eventually you get talent points. Like right now, he's an opportunist, which means he gets to perform additional attacks of opportunity. This guy gets maximum action 2 points when his health is low.
What's escapist? Do you write op-eds?
It just turns you into Yahtzee. Yeah. Escapist allows you to flee combat even when enemies are right next to you.
What about Far Out Man?
You got
a
Far Out Man
surfboard?
increases the range of spells and scrolls by 2 meters, so you get a little extra there. So at this point, I should have been paying attention. I'm going to need to do something with this door. Probably bash it.
You should probably bash that door.
So, given that landmine earlier, I mean, this sort of seems like it's a high fantasy kind of setting, but a landmine isn't exactly like a swords and sorcery type domain.
No, that's true.
Like, does it sort of cast the net wide in terms of what kind of gear and what kind of world this is? Like, how much is technology, in a more modern sense, part of this world?
It does have some elements of things that you might more associate with, like, kind of steampunk whatever, and it teaches you to quick save, so I might as well just do what it says, right? Just in case. And but it does cast its net a little bit wide, but it's mostly, Tolkien-esque fantasy. So here's an issue where it's like, okay, what do I do here? I've got all this fire and I have to pass. Well, it just so happens there's a rain scroll over here. So I'm going to pick up the rain scroll.
Well, hello.
Stick that down here. Oops, I missed. Stick that down here. Oops. And now I'm going to cast the rain on top. And this comes...
I believe the term is make it rain.
So
He's not at a strip club, Chris.
So for example, if I'm in combat and I'm on fire, I could do this, to...
Or if you're fighting some Ifrit, would that, damage them, maybe?
Yeah. And you see over here, just in case there were water barrels, I could have just thrown it on there if I had enough strength. In this case,
you can't use those once combat has started, I'm guessing.
You can use all that stuff in combat. You can still move stuff around.
Yeah?
You can still fire arrows at stuff and attack things in the environment and stuff. Yeah, totally.
That's cool. Oppression X805 asks, will this be on Steam? This is already on Steam.
This is already on Steam,
As of yesterday, I think?
Yeah.
It was launched?
Yeah, yesterday was official launch. And the thing is that, I can sit down. You want to see some sweet sitting down action?
$39.99.
This is almost as good as ball shots. No chat just yet. Although we will hopefully chat soon.
That world disappearing as the camera moves in this is pretty good. That's pretty great.
Yeah, they have some really good
You like
stuff.
that effect?
Yeah, I'm into this.
Yeah,
so in this case, it's like, I need to unlock a door. So I guess I'll just
try some nasty deeds on it.
Try some nasty deeds. I like those nasty deeds on
doors. If you level up your nasty deeds, can you perform them at a greatly reduced cost?
What do you mean reduced cost? Like you have to
if stuff normally is expensive, can you do them dirt cheap? Yeah. Took a little while.
I get jokes.
But I got it.
That's pretty good. How much have you played of this so far, Kev?
Totally get jokes. I am maybe 6 hours in or something like that, but I feel like I've done nothing. I'm seriously at the point where I feel like nothing has happened. So
because the world is vast, or because you find it tedious?
Because it's vast and there's a lot to do, and in a few cases because the game doesn't necessarily help you figure out stuff. So there's a lot of time spent just, hey, how do I do this? What does this do?
Yeah.
How do what are these people going to say? Okay, so now.
But are you finding that entertaining, or are you finding it tedious? Are you turned into a stone?
I think it's entertaining. It's
what?
It's stealth mode. So here's stealth mode. Now, when you go into stealth mode, you automatically leave your partner behind.
With apologies to Solid Snake.
And here's a fun thing. I'm just going to throw some candles on them.
On these mummies?
Yeah, because see, they've got oil on the ground. And so I'm going to catch them on fire.
Wow, they seem pretty non-perturbed by the fact that they're on
that.
fire right now.
Mummies, man. There's not...
And I'm going to come over here and see if I can do more of that. Oh, nope. All right, so I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
That is really delightful.
Does it say the rock on the side of that? Or the orange?
The gray rock.
All right, so here we go. I'm gonna do some summoning. I'm just gonna do a bunch of summoning. Let's summon.
What kind of stuff can you summon? She already had a spider out. What other type of animals?
Well, there's this here skeleton. I had a scroll, so you can use anybody can use a scroll. You don't have to have learned the spell in advance or anything. So she's done. Now here comes my fighter. So let's do this. Oh, he's got a summon in here too, I think.
Do it.
Yeah, summon wolf.
Summon wolf.
So let's summon the wolf.
Dire wolf,
yeah.
do it.
Oh my goodness!
What an amazing
That
save
wolf
by
is so cool!
that wolf. That was
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah, you like that?
Wow.
Yeah.
he's pretty great.
That was
Yikes.
really, yeah.
And now my summon has his turn, but he's not going to be able to quite get there. I have enough action points though where he can attack this dude.
Yeah.
So.
You missed
great.
him. You doofus. You missed
Thanks,
too.
skeleton.
Oh, you got you there.
Oh
Some
god,
nice-
here comes the second guy. All right, now we've got her. Let's get a spider in on the act.
Yeah, horrible spider demon.
That makes a bit more sense because you're in a cave. Earlier it was a bit weird. We just kind of
I don't know.
dangled down.
I kind of like it. I like the airdrop spider.
Yeah, pretty much. And
Like
her
you
turn's
rang.
done. All right, wolf's turn. Let's see what the wolf's got up his sleeves.
Yo, F that dude up.
Do wolves have sleeves?
Bam.
He's immune to bleeding, but it's okay because he's dead now.
Great.
Take that, mummy.
I can't go over there, so let's kind of come over here.
I find most people are immune to beating once they've died.
So Kevin, the turn-based stuff here doesn't take place on a hex grid
Nope.
or anything like
Yeah.
that. Do you find you run into any kind of pathfinding or like resource? You know, because like every space you move takes up. You know, it'll take up some points to move. Do you find that all that sort of balances out and you can get a good sense of how it's like the logic is sound and predictable, and so you think you can move somewhere, you can move there. Do you get a good sense of that?
Totally it works. There's a little bit of this issue where it's like, how close can I get before fighting starts? That kind of thing.
Before you initiate the turn-based segment. Yeah.
Exactly. But once you kind of get used to that, you can kind of you're still using the environment to how you kind of want to use it for yourself. You just got to pay attention to what you see, what's happening around you.
Cool.
And then it all sort of works out on its own. It's pretty easy to pick up on.
Kevin, thank you very much for coming on.
Am I done?
You're done. I got one more question for you. One
This game
single
is so
question.
good that I just want to keep playing this
This is
game.
pretty cool.
Well, people can pick it up for themselves. It's on Steam right now. $39.99. When is our review going up?
Who knows?
I guess it's a big,
No,
big
I
task.
just started it. We didn't get advance code of the final version, so I got started when everybody else gets started. So as soon as it's done when it's done. It's like a Blizzard game.
Cool. I got one final question because it was something I was wondering as well. Evermind88 in GameSpot chat asks, does the game scale with your level or do you do much grinding?
As far as I know, the game does not scale with your level.
Okay.
You're not going out there and this is not Oblivion or whatever. You know, it's like if something's high powered and you go out there and you face it, you're screwed.
Excellent.
You know, and there are places where you can get into really, really big trouble because you can fight anything you want to fight if you want to, or steal anything that you want to steal. People will not be happy with you. They will attack you. You can attack different mission givers so that their side missions are now gone forever. You can. There's...
Wow, okay.
Is there ever any good reason to do that, though? I feel like you always want the mission opportunity.
What if a guy looks at you wrong?
There's a good
You
one.
motherfucker.
Well, a lot of the stuff, the missions, there's so many different ways of completing them. Like, the fact that I can talk to animals has made certain instances quite different than if I couldn't. Like, I get clues, and I can suddenly, I can solve my murder a different way.
But can't everyone talk to animals if they play these characters?
If they play a witch that starts with that, yeah. Or if eventually you choose that when you get the opportunity.
Man.